I guess I can do that. I don't think I don't really think I have a vigor problem at this stage. So let's compare here. 607, 417, 134. 607, 417, 134. Yeah, you can see the general diminishing returns really starting to kick in. I think we'll do this for now. Okay. Interesting look as well here. I think with that we got to go back to the roundtable and see what we got. How do we even power up his great rune though? That's another question. I mean, are there enough towers to do all of this? I don't think there's another great tower that's indicated here. I thought maybe there'd be an interaction here or something, but no. And I want to go and overlook the edge of space and time. So does that mean we don't fight Mikola, we're only going to fight Melina? So I'm not sure if that dead thing is Mikola. I think it is. But yeah, that's a hell of a visual. Sorry about the shitty outfit, but... So I don't know, are they like pre-powered up? Let's see. Yeah, devoid of any benediction. Let's have a look. Great Rune of Sharbira Moog, devoid of any benediction. Seek the Divine Tower of East Altus, which stands beyond the Great... Divine Tower of East Altus. Okay, I know where that is. Yeah, Divine Tower of East Altus. Let's just go there first. Let's see if this works. I think it does. The Great Rune. Wow. Its redness, like, it makes it seem like a really epic rune. Let's see. Grants a blessing of blood to phantoms. Its blessing grants... What? Its blessing grants a blessing? That's a bit shit. That's why I got confused. I was like, what the hell? Its blessing grants a blessing of blood to summoned phantoms, and imparts a phantom great rune upon successful invasion. Moog and Morgoth are twin brothers, and their great runes are naturally similar, but Moog's rune is soaked in accursed blood from his devout love for the wretched mire that he was born into far below the earth. So, I was saying Morgoth, Moog, they all seem like the same, they move the same way and that kind of thing. And, well, twin brothers. They probably mentioned that somewhere, but I wasn't sure. So, that's another great rune in the books. There's 2 more to get, I believe. I mean, he was talking about Mikola and Melina, but the way Moog was talking about the situation, it made things seem a little different. So, now is a good time to head back to Gideon. I'm sure he's going to have something to say about that. Right, about the Lord of Blood's cocoon, yeah.
Ah, I see. So Mikola was with the Lord of Blood after all. That is some fine intelligence indeed. With it, the final clue has been brought into the light. One of the last few pieces of the round table. I need to put everything together. As promised, allow me to impart to you the last of the secret rites, known only to me.
Nice. Law of causality.
Well, I wonder what comes next. If he continues his slumber within the cocoon, all would be well. But perhaps it would be safer to destroy it. Mikola is the one thing that remains a mystery to me. There are 4 Mikola, his twin, Melina, the lunar princess, and Rania. So here at the, if you should learn, I'll trade you for.
Okay, let's have a look at the thing that we got from him. It probably requires a beefy faith stat. Retaliates upon receiving a number of blows. One of the incantations of Golden Order Fundamentalists, one of the key fundamentals, manifests a small ring of causality that allows the caster to automatically retaliate upon receiving a certain number of blows. The Fundamentalists describe the Golden Order through the powers of regression and causality. Causality is the pull between meanings, that which links all things in a chain of relation. There's just so much here. The amount of lore in all of these. Yeesh. Definitely need to watch some Vati content once I'm done with this playthrough. And in case you don't know, Vati Vidya, you probably know, but he is the most famous, the biggest Soulsborne channel on YouTube by an absolute mile. And especially for Elden Ring, I'm sure his channel like doubled in size. I think he already had like 2 million or something before the game even came out. And all of the Soulsborne channels ate really good on YouTube the last month or two. So I'm sure he's doing great. But he is fantastic. He's once I finished Bloodborne, I watched a lot of his content, and he deserves all the success that he has. He's a fantastic content creator and a real asset to the community, I think. So let me see if there's anything from the Remembrance here. Yes. Okay. Trident of Moog, Lord of Blood, a sacred spear that will come to symbolize his dynasty. As well as serving as a weapon, is an instrument of communion with an outer god who bestows power upon a cursed blood. The Mother of Truth desires a wound. Blood boon ritual, so hopefully is what he just did there. Raise a sacred spear and pierce the body of the formless mother. Stab up to 3 times, creating explosions of blood with each thrust. This skill will coat the armor with blood flame for a while. It needs 27 arcane though. Damn it. But still, we gotta have that. Lord of Blood's robe. Attire of Moog, Lord of Blood, embroidered with an extravagant gold emblem. It looks really cool. I might just have this for the look. The dress of a luminary, the reigning lord and hierarch of the coming dynasty of Mogwin, or perhaps of a raving lunatic. So we only get the robe? I'm gonna have it. Veteran's helm. The robustness is pretty beastly. But you can't beat the robustness of that. Alright.
Now go forth.
That I will. So that was a lot. I didn't get much done in terms of it was just a one boss battle, but it was a very, very important one. I think it's one of the biggest and most important boss battles of the game. Am I a little bit upset that I had to summon? Of course I am, because I hadn't needed it in so long against the boss battle. It's literally, Radahn was the last time I summoned against a major boss. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I summoned, I think, against like the trio of crystal enemies in a cave or whatever, but I'm talking about like serious bosses. I haven't done it for a very, very long time. But it's funny, even the Mimic with a +8 did a fantastic job. But yeah, I did give it a good like 3 hours or something, and it was a bit too much for me. And I just couldn't see a way through. Like, I tried everything I had, and it was just that second form. It just completely was just too much for me. I think I would have had to have had a really lucky flurry of just like it choosing the exact right moves and getting lucky with some dodges, and it would have taken me an age. So, of course, there's a little bit in there, but I'm like 95% very satisfied that I managed to beat him, because I did put in the work without the summon first. I mean, everyone's mind varies. I'm sure a lot of people would have just summoned straight away. Like, they died once or twice, they just summoned, and maybe they won in like 10 minutes. I don't know. But for me, I needed that. You guys know I love that challenge and that grind. And this game has definitely not had it like this level. I thought I'd encounter a lot of like Margit and what's his face? Moog level. Like I thought that would happen like 30 times in this game because of the sheer amount of bosses, but right now the ones that stick out are Margit that were like ultra tough. Margit, Astal, the first Astal that I found, Radahn, and Moog, I would say. They're probably like the absolute top ones. Like yes, there were battles that needed like 20-30 attempts too, but those guys were the ones where I really felt like relative to my level and build I was really like outclassed and I needed help from summons and that kind of thing. So that's a summary of that. We're getting very close to the end now. We must be. We must be. So I think what I will do now is basically head back to the foot of the forge. And I think this is like the... I believe this leads to an ending. And this is the ending that I would have got if I just kind of carried on going as normal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get that ending. And then this will be like the save that I reload, and then this time we'll go to the Erdtree and we'll see what we can get. So I'm going to save here basically, and this should hopefully be like my final save that I go back to once I complete the game for the first time, and then seek out anything else that's left in order to get the Platinum Trophy. I think what I want to do is to quickly go back here and upgrade my Mimic, summon even 1 or 2 more, because if I do encounter more of these brick walls and I've tried for like 2-3 hours and I can't get through, we're going to have to play the summon game. I mean, it's to me, I don't really see another way through like in a realistic time frame given my skill level, so it's one of those things, it's got to be done after a time.
Are you here for...
So it will save me 1 trip further back to sort this out. The Great Ghost. I mean, my guess is that even with the +8, it held its own pretty decently against Moog. So at +9, it's probably fine. Let me just upgrade it to the max anyway.
No matter, it's lay out your arm.
I still think... that final one. And then maybe just like 1 more of these. Yeah, shield bros. And then... yeah, I don't quite have the FP for this. This guy's got a nice shield. My guess is that the ones I'll struggle with the most are the ones where there's a lot of area of effect and it's a relatively small area, so like the second form of Moog, for example. I feel like this guy in the second form of Moog is not going to help me so much, so maybe I should try something different. This guy seems like could be good. Sorry, this Lutel seems like it could be good. Wields a lance enrobed in death and hurls spectral lance at foes, and they have a shield too. So I think this one might be a good idea. So I'm gonna have to sell a bit more.
Back all no matter.
I think level-wise, again, I'm pretty fine. Surely at level 140. I don't think Moog was so much of a level issue, really. It was just... well, I guess it was a bit of a level issue. I think maybe if, let's say, I was at a slightly higher level, or I respect a little bit so that I could have much higher HP. Because, I mean, for me at least, because my Vigor was lagging behind a fair bit for a while, the fact that it's a 45 now, it seemed like it was really high, but I guess when I think about it, maybe the blood loss move that it does maybe wouldn't have hurt me as much.
Back no matter.
If my Vigor was like 55 or something, then maybe it would have made a difference, I don't know. So we'll see how things go at the moment. But basically I'm just prepping now, so I don't really ever need to come back for spirit tuning again. Yeah, and I've still got even like 2 more +9s to play with if there's anything else that I really want to work with. So I need a great glaive. I need a great grave glove wall. Cool. So I think that's that. Now I really can head to the forge and just see what awaits in there. So yeah, things are going to happen once I go there. I don't know exactly what, but I don't believe it. Well, again, there's conflicting stuff. There's 2 people that told me that it locks you out of an ending or like an aspect of a particular ending, so they recommended having a save before the forge to kind of go back to once things are done there. And then someone else said that it doesn't lock you out of anything, so honestly I don't know, but it's the kind of stuff that's hard for me to research, because obviously in researching endings and what locks you out of what and this kind of thing, you're obviously going to spoil yourself in the process. So I kind of have to rely on other people to tell me, and generally I take them at their word. So I'm happy with what I've done so far. I think having this save here after Moog, where I haven't triggered any endings, and I have this to go, and I have the Erdtree, and I have, I guess this is Farum Azula over here. I think that's pretty good going. And worst case, this can be the save that I come back to once I hit an ending, because I believe that after this one, there's still a chance I might miss out on something. At least I can research it a bit more thoroughly once I'm actually through this particular bit. So let's just see what happens, and I think it should maybe be more intuitive about whether or not I've been locked out of anything, or if it's a point of no return. And that kind of thing. So we'll see. I need to change my setup a little bit as well. This was like a very Moog-centric setup. The triple weapon. So I was thinking when I was chatting to my friends, like, who else is there left to fight? Because we've got Moog. Mikola looks like he's like in that cocoon thing. It looks dead. Dormant. I don't know how you'd explain it. I mean, it looks dead, but is anything ever really dead in this game if they don't want to be? I don't think so. So we have Melina left of the Great Rune Holders, and they said that Rani cast aside her Great Rune. So Rani, at this point at least, doesn't seem like someone we have to fight for a Great Rune. So in thinking that, I'm like, well then, who's left here to fight? I mean, we've got Melina, we definitely know. Melina is in the Erdtree, surely. But then who is this forge going to lead to? It's confusing, because there's Melina and then there's Melina as well. I don't know, man. But then I was editing yesterday, and it was a session where I met Muriel for the first time, the giant tortoise that gives you like some nice lore stuff. And he talks about Radagon, and I still don't think we've got to that statue that conceals the secret and stuff. And Radagon was the second Elder Lord, if I remember correctly. So it might be Radagon that I have to fight, now that I think about it. So we'll see. Let me change this up a little bit. Go back to some of my other stuff. Yeah, the Giza wheel can I should have changed this one again back to blood. Shit. Yeah, let me change that back to poison was fine for Moog, but I still like. Actually, I've got my katana. I should just leave my katana as the main blood weapon for now. And this needed a lot of arcane to be able to use, unfortunately. I'm sure it's a great weapon. It's got blood loss build up, and it's fire based. Wow. Let me just see the range. It's a pretty giant spear. Yeah, it's really slow, of course. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll upgrade this a little later. Start using it. But for now, I'm going to go back to my old faithfuls. It's been a while since I rocked the Blasphemous Blade. And we'll get the axe back. And we can even have the katana too. Yeah, still unsure if I want to push the Rivers of Blood to +9 for now. We'll keep it as it is. Yeah, I stay medium load even without this, so... but I haven't changed my outfit, so that probably doesn't help. This one for the weight is really good, by the way. It's only 10.6. It weighs like the same as these, but I think it's like a higher tier. Yeah, now I'm going to go overweight here. I can just about stay medium load like this. Maybe I should just do that. This is good enough, I think. Even with Blythes? Not quite with Blythes. With the twinned ones, I stay there. Okay. So I have to pick one of these three. I think the twinned ones are probably still the best. Okay. This is good enough for now. And I have a triple weapon again. So it's not bad. Let's go. I really do wonder how Moog's going to stack up compared to the other endgame bosses I'm going to face in the next, like, 10 hours. My friends are saying there's at least 3 or 4 more bosses that you'll find challenging, or even brick walls, so there's still plenty of tough stuff to come, but I think the general pattern of me sort of making my best effort without summons is a good pattern. Eventually I might get fatigued if there's like, in the next 5 hours, if I encounter like 3 bosses as hard as Moog, then I might start summoning more quickly to get through, we'll see. Because that, of course, did drain me a fair bit, those repeat attempts. I wouldn't do it for, like, every single boss if that started to become a thing. So, we'll take it as it comes. Let's just see how we do for now. I think Moog was also just a mismatch because of the style, too. Right. Key. Now... this game kills you a lot with drops, so I don't think I should drop down there. Let's just have a look round first. There's probably a safer route down than to just try and jump. Torrent can still come up here. Getting very close to the end now. At least an ending. It might be the case that, like, after ending A to get to ending B, I still have to play another 10 hours, I don't know, but... that seems pretty likely. Yeah, I think there's a grace there, actually. Yeah, so this was the right choice. Okay. So this probably is a little bit of a no return kind of place. So, talk to Melina appears, but before I do that... I mean, my guess is that I don't literally try to get down there. I'm going to die if I do. If there was like a little portal there or something, I'd be more inclined to try and jump down and get to it. But for now, let's just chat to Melina first, see what happens. Right, let's go.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate. Are you prepared to commit a cardinal sin?
I'd like you to wait. Okay, of course to make progress we've got to be ready for this, so let's go. Let's see what we've got to do.
Very well. Let my hand rest upon you. for but a moment.
That cutscene, oh my god.
O Erdtree, you shall burn. Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
That's a hell of a visual, wow. Got goosebumps. Erdtree aflame. Yeah, so that's obviously a major thing happening that is going to change some stuff, I'm sure. Yes, okay. Death indiscriminate, he says. Cleanse the world. Usually that's villainous shit. Basically everyone dies to repair the world, but I don't know. Here we go. This place did seem really cool when I first saw it. And yes, we have arrived at Farum Azula. Crumbling farms. Wow. Okay. When I even see like little snippets of cutscenes like that, I can't help but wish like these games, the FromSoft games, they had more of a storytelling style that I personally like could get more invested in. Of course, I get that this is the FromSoft way, and this is how they've built such an incredible like series of games, and like how they've got this amazing reputation they have, and it's all well deserved. This is just like a completely personal take, and it says nothing about the quality of the game or the artistry or whatever. Just for me personally, I would have loved to have pretty much everything we have here, but just a greater abundance of cutscenes and like more, I guess, quote unquote conventional character development and like and those kind of things. Because when you do get these little snippets, they're so good that even if they had like a few hours worth of cutscenes throughout this 120, for me at least, it probably would have elevated things to a new level, because I do enjoy that conventional storytelling style when it's done well. The FromSoft style is obviously really cool in its own way and very rewarding once you put the pieces together, but like while you're actually playing the game, especially for my playstyle or like my own tastes, it's fine, it's good and it's unique and stuff, but just from a pure storytelling and like personal investment perspective when it comes to the narrative, I really would have loved for these games to just have a bit more. In any case, let's go. See what awaits here. I mean, this looks like a very, very dangerous area. As it should be. But let's begin the path. There's going to be some good full deaths here, I'm sure, if there's a lot of this stuff happening. But judging by the smithing stone 8 to begin with, it should be nice and tough here. That's my like benchmark for how difficult an area is. The value of the smithing stones and the golden runes you find. Right, our first enemies. Wow, even they need 3 hits. Line them up. I'm surprised that these guys aren't like joining the fray yet. We'll try and get an easy one. We'll take all the easy kills we can get at this time. Okay. So, of course, I do wonder, now that that's happened, what happens if we go back to the Elden Throne and just try to go through? Like, I assume the thorns have burnt now. That's why I kind of want to go back to the round table as well. Oh. Why didn't I get the... Yeah, I have a mind to go back to it. So it means like once you're here, there's no turning back, I think. Maybe until we find a site of grace, if there is one here. To see. There is still Godwyn. I think we fought Godwyn. We fought like a, I guess like a ghost version, like a spirit version of him. That wasn't really him. Maybe Godwyn still appears as well. So I'm still trying to put together like who could we be fighting at this stage. Right, can I make a trip now? I can. Okay, good. So I do want to just quickly talk to Gideon, see if he has anything to say about what's going on. Because he is one of the few people like throughout the entire game, even though there was a massive chunk of time where he just said nothing despite everything that was going on. He is one of the few people you can go to talk about things, so I do try to.
You burned the Erdtree, didn't you? Then the round table is soon to follow. No need to fret about that. The round table hold served to put a tarnish upon the throne of Elden Lord. And if the Erdtree needed to burn for that to happen, then the round table must go as well.
Wow, he's pretty chill about this. Like I say, I mean, I did mention this to a couple of other people as well, but to me, he explicitly says that he also wants to be Elden Lord, so I've been a bit confused by how generally supportive he's been and how, like, he makes it seem like it's a really collective quest. At the end of the day, if we have 2 people that both want to be Elden Lord, and this guy seems like he's put in a lot of time and effort to gain the knowledge needed to be an Elden Lord, and the fact that he's just like, yeah, okay, now you go ahead and do everything and become the Elden Lord, and I'll just not be the Elden Lord now. Like, is he really that selfless? And there's no competition at all? It seems that way so far, but I've always been a bit suspect of that. Like, it is a bit odd to me, but we'll see.
I'll stay at the round table for a time. I must learn all that can be taken from this place and sear it into my memory. How could I call myself the all-knowing if I did any less?
That's fair.
The pursuit of knowledge is without end, for knowledge is never a thing complete. Thus, I maintain the mantle of all-knowing, Perhaps the same could be said of guidance. Who's to say whether we'll remain who we are once the fight is finished? What do you think? As one who aspires to become Elden Lord. There are 4 Mikola of his twin, Luna and Rani is so here at the Hall. If you should learn, I'll trade you. We both desire as such.
Yeah, we both desire to become Elden Lord. And he said, well, we could change once the fight is over. So, I don't know. It definitely would not surprise me at all if he suddenly just became, like, an enemy. But this might be the last time we actually get to be here, so I should probably... I mean, I don't even know what happens here, in that sense. It really is starting to burn. It again, it does remind me of Bloodborne and the burning dream area. After playing so much Elden Ring, Bloodborne just feels like a lifetime ago. I mean, it was like, I think, 4 years ago now? Something like that, 4 or 5. I should speak to her. Oh, she's here. That's interesting. Okay. So it's a good thing I came back here. These conversations might have disappeared, depending on events.
You've done it, I see. What use do you have for me now? I am a finger reader. I will remain here until their dialogue ends and the fingers speak again. Do as you please. Take whatever course seems most worthy to you. Now you may go.
Yeah, aside from like the literal bosses in the game, I face like no resistance or damnation from anyone.
You'd force this tired old crone to work, even now. Harder taskmaster have I never met.
She'll be fine. Oh yeah, I remember getting this robe. This robe was gangster.
Now, go do what you believe is right.
Yeah, no more let the words of the fingers guide you. That's why I do wonder, like a lot of people playing this game for the first time. I know everyone loves to be like, oh, you know, I understood the entire story the first time. I knew all of the lore and I made all the decisions. Like, I made really educated decisions and choices in the game. But at least for me, like at the moment, do what you believe is right. It's like, what do I believe is right? Like, what people pitch to me in the game as a solution, most of it seems like, yeah, I guess it could work. Like, this place, the lands between does seem pretty fucked up, and basically we need to become the Elden Lord in order to fix it. But there seems like a lot of different pathways to take, and it's like, which one is right? I feel like I personally haven't gathered enough understanding and information from the story to really make a truly informed decision. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. There's of course going to be people that say like, oh no, there's been plenty. You should be very clear about what to do at this point in terms of what decisions to make and stuff. And maybe that's true for some people, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that kind of just ran through and was just like, yeah, okay, well, you want me to do this? Yeah, sure, okay, I'll do this. Without truly understanding why they're doing it or like the weight of what they're doing and that kind of thing. And I think that's pretty normal, but that's what I mean. I do wish there was just a little bit more so that I felt like I was a bit more in control of my own destiny. It's like Melina says something to me and I'm like, that's cool, like I want to help Melina, we should do what she wants to do. And then Rani says something, I'm like, I'm going to help Rani. And then this happens, that happens, I don't know, it's like... I feel like I'm not in as much control as I'd like to be in that sense. I feel like I'm just being pulled around by the other characters. And so you really do have to be in tune with the story and the lore on a pretty deep level, I think, to really be able to make good decisions and truly have like a solid opinion
Lay out your arms.
on what you think is right. But we'll see. I mean, maybe when we really come, like push comes to shove, we'll see what happens. Everything has pushed me to basically burn the Erdtree at this point and do whatever happens from there, so I think I'm on the quote-unquote right path at this point. Okay, not going to touch anything else for now. Just going to speak to Roderica and then get out of here.
Take a look around. The roundtable hold is burned, razed to the ground. Don't worry, I don't blame you. I'll continue spirit tuning just the same as before, which is why I need your help persuading Master Hewg to leave. His roots are so knotted in this place. He won't last much longer if he stays here. His shackles are broken. He's a free man now. It's high time he put the round table behind him.
Okay. I would like to get them out of here. I like these two. They've been very helpful throughout the entire journey. And this guy, man, he's really had a hard life. So let's see what we can do.
Lay out your arms. Weren't you listening? As I've always said, you came to challenge the demigods and their god, to slay them. And as long as you do, I will always smith your weapons. It is what I wish. To smith a weapon for you to slay a god.
Wow. So again, for people like Master Hewg, I want to go on to slay the gods.
I see. Oh, is that right? So Master Hewg won't listen to you either. You have my thanks regardless. I'll try and talk him round next time. I know he was given this great entreaty to craft a weapon which could slay a god. Though I can't help but think of it as a curse, a fearsome curse, put on him by Queen Marika. And if that's the case, I'm not sure there's anything we can do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everything is just so complicated. He wants to do that, but then there's obviously, well, Queen Marika that's potentially set this curse upon him. What does Queen Marika want? Should we do what Queen Marika wants? Do we kill Queen Marika? There's so much going on at that like upper echelon of like Elden lordship and like gods and who's actually ruling what. It's especially when there's so much gameplay and you're so focused on the gameplay, making progress and that kind of stuff. It all sort of it all blurs really. It would be nice if we got some kind of like, if Gideon gave us like a breakdown of like, so what do we have so far? We know this, and this is a decision that you need to make. I know it's very spoon-feeding, but it has been 130 hours, and there's been sprinklings throughout. Like something I read in an item description like 80 hours ago, I'm not going to remember. So, but that's just the way it is. That's how it's pretty much always been, as I understand it, for these games, and probably how it always will be to a degree. But it's also why I want to play Sekiro. I've always heard Sekiro is much more of a conventional story, like not with crazy amounts of cutscenes and stuff, but in terms of following what's going on, it seems a much more simple and easy to digest story compared to stuff like this. So like, the gameplay is extremely challenging. Oh, okay, something coming. Is there another dragon here? There are so many dragons around, we've got to find one surely. Yep. Is it the same guy that we saw before? Yeah. Okay. There's no... By the way, there's no health bar. Oh, it's like a regular encounter? That's so weird. Ah, I thought I could roll underneath it. Yeah. I tried to stay down long enough to not take a second hit. Ew, nasty. But of course, given the type of area, we kind of knew that there was going to be a dragon here.